Okay, perfect. I guess we'll get started, and then if people hop on later on, they can catch up. But we'll get started. So I see Claudia. Hi, Maud. If you're catching this as the replay, welcome as well. Let me just start here. And as you go, if you want to leave comments here in the chat box, we'll have a Q&A at the end, and then I'll go back and read your comments as well. So feel free to comment as you go. Perfect. And we can get started. So today we'll talk about how to create a mindset routine. So this is a very important, in my opinion, it's the key, maybe the most important aspect of how we go about our entrepreneurial journey. Because in my opinion, it's about mindset before strategy, right? So this is, and creating a mindset routine specifically is more than having the best strategy or being on top of your business tasks or getting stuff done, because at the end of the day, it comes down to your mindset behind it, to your energy behind it, and how you're showing up and actually getting the work done. You've probably seen people with the same strategy having very different results. And I really believe that you can have the smartest strategy in place, so you can have the best sales funnel and all the pieces to your strategy. But if your mindset is not aligned, and if your beliefs are not on board, if your energy is not there, if you don't really believe on what you're doing, or if you're capable of achieving that, if you're just really not on board 360, you're not going to get the results that you're expecting, even though you might have this strategy, right? So, and also for the opposite, you also probably seen people that might not have all the pieces figured out and all the steps when it comes to strategy, but they're so aligned and determined, not only determined, but their mindset is aligned, which means that their beliefs, their energy, the way they see the process, the way that they see themselves, it's just so aligned behind it that they show up with the strongest energy. It's magnetizing to their audiences and collaborations, and things happen. And then you look at those businesses and think, well, they don't even have the strategy pieces there, or the smartest, perfect, the most perfect strategy. So how come things flow and success follows? And the answer is mindset, right? So this is what we'll explore today, is how you can, knowing that, how you can start to condition a daily space for mindset work. So a consistent mindset routine, so you connect to your mindset, to your energy, your beliefs, your thoughts, basically everything that is behind the actual work on a daily basis. So you show up in the best version of yourself with the best energy and in alignment. So then you can carry on the strategy and the steps and the business tasks. So my name is Ligia. I'm a mindset coach for entrepreneurs, and I cover the practical and the spiritual side of aligning your energy, your beliefs, and your actions to manifest success and flow in your business. So this is what I do. Here is where you can find me if you want to connect further. The Mindset and Actionable Woo group on Facebook is where I do a lot of live trainings as well, a lot more Q&As if you want to explore all these topics further. Also the website, or if you want to send me an email. So you have this here if you want to connect, and we can get started. So also by the end, I mentioned already, but by the end we have a few minutes for Q&A. So hang on, if you want to ask any questions as well, you can do so here. And this is what we'll cover today. So we'll cover mindset and autopilot, why working on mindset, how the systems work, then the starting point to conditioning a mindset routine, how you can take the first steps to really condition a consistent and effective daily mindset work. Then I'll share 5 main practices that you can take. So actual steps, exercises, things that you can do every morning to work on your mindset. And then we'll touch on consistency. So once you have that structure, how to really stick to it. Because I know that that's also a big topic. We often have all these things that we want to implement. And when it comes to working further on your mindset, but then it falls flat, right? Then we don't stick to it. So this is about following through with the structure that we're going to briefly build here during this webinar. So let's go to the first step. So mindset and autopilot. The thing is, so if you look at it from the practical standpoint, so if you look at it from the practical side, the main process when it comes to your conditioned mind, ego, autopilot, there's a lot to explore there. So we're not going to go too much in depth on conditioned mind, ego, and all this part. But the main process is whatever you focus on, you will find evidence of. This is the power of your focus. And I have a little exercise that you can take right now to just see how it works. So right now, where you are in your room, just scan the room, look around you, look at your desk, the room around you, look to your left, to your right, just scan the room quickly and look for the color yellow. I wanted to just scan the room and focus on yellow. So find yellow, take a few seconds to just scan, look for the yellow. And I'll give you a few seconds. So really memorize where you're seeing the yellow. Let it stick in your mind, really memorize where you're seeing the yellow and scan for every touch of yellow you can see. Awesome. Now I would like you to close your eyes. And without opening your eyes, so with your eyes closed, tell me or tell yourself, where is the blue in the room? So now that you scan the room for the yellow, with your eyes closed, try and think of where you could also see the color blue for a few moments. And you can open your eyes again. This was just a quick exercise for you to notice. So you probably saw how that felt. So once your focus was on the yellow, it was probably, and let me know in the comments how that was for you, but it was probably tricky to remember the blue, or it could be any other color, but it just comes to show how your mind is scanning and just memorizing the information, so internalizing the information that your focus is looking for. So your focus is on the yellow. That's the piece of information that your mind will take as important and that it's going to internalize. So you weren't focused on the blue, even though your eyes were scanning the same room. Your eyes were technically seeing the blue around you as well, because you're just looking at the same things, right? But it comes down to your focus. And this is what we can start to manipulate almost, not almost, literally. This is what we can start to shift and condition with mindset work. You're conditioning where you want your focus to be. So you can consciously choose a better focus, something you would rather focus on, your beliefs, improved beliefs. So, something that doesn't serve you, and you can consciously choose to change that and tell your subconscious, okay, we're not focusing on A anymore. Now we're focused on B. And tell yourself, reinforce that message every single morning with your mindset routine. So you're changing neural pathways. You're changing your conditioned mind. You're reinforcing all these new messages to your brain. And that's the practical standpoint, right? So you're making all these changes and reinforcing this message. So you're conditioning your focus to be somewhere else. And by doing that, you'll change your experience. Just like you did right now with a quick exercise. Can you imagine if you do the same process? Because the way it works in your brain is the same. So when it comes to your feelings, where your attention goes, how you react to certain things, the process is the same. When you focus somewhere else, this is the information that you're gonna internalize, and this will be reflected in your experience. So let's say a certain kind of feeling is your new yellow, right? Like we just did in the exercise. So that will be a feeling, that will be the way you wanna react to something, that will be the way you interact with others. But that will be what you decide to focus on, will be your new color yellow. So that is what your mind will become obsessed with, where you're focused at. And as a consequence, what you see in your experience, what you pay attention to, and suddenly a room has more yellow than blue based on what you choose to focus on. Does that make sense? If you want to comment, let me know in the comments how is this process for you, and if that resonates. Also, if you're catching the replay, we can connect afterwards and chat about it. But it just comes to show the power of your focus and how that shapes your reality. If you're into manifestation, law of attraction, and this kind of energy work, you probably also heard that your thoughts create a reality, your perception creating your physical reality, and all of that. It all comes down to shifting your focus. This is the practical side. So how your mindset routine can start to condition your mind, condition your reactions and your triggers to shift your focus. And that's the practical side. Now, when you look at it from the spiritual energy side, this is also your connection to your higher self. So we don't have time enough today on this webinar to go more in depth on your connection to your intuition, guidance, universe, energy, your higher self, your physical experience just being a reflection of your soul's journey, and all these things that I'm super passionate about, that you can also explore further if you want to join the Facebook group. That's our gem there. But for the purpose of this webinar, I will try to keep this short. So looking at it from the spiritual side, mindset work and having that time for mindset routine is just your time to connect with yourself. Connect to your desires, connect to your inner wisdom, connect to guidance, to your higher self, to what feels good, connect to your center. So you're moving forward, taking action and making decisions based on what feels good. This has a lot to do also with the chakra system and connecting to your heart chakra and all those things. But long story short, is connecting to your heart space. So you take aligned action, not only action in general. So you're doing stuff here and there and kind of taking action for action's sake, doing for the sake of doing. That's the feeling of overwhelm when you're just busy in your business and doing stuff all over the place. And you might feel like you're doing so much, but still not seeing results, or at least not feeling good and having the results that you want, results that feel the way you want them to feel. You're just doing, and kind of going around in circles and feeling stuck. That's when we're so focused on the external and taking action. So focused on the action that we kind of neglect where this action is coming from. It's more about checking things off from your to-do list than actually taking the time to connect with where this action is coming from. Is this really aligned? Does this really make sense on a deeper level, not only on your strategy, not only as part of your funnel or whatever you have going on this week, but really on a bigger level. So on the big picture, does this make sense? Does this feel good? Is this how I want to move forward? Is this how I want to show up? Is this the kind of meeting and interaction and collaboration and partnership that I want to have? Do I really resonate with this person, with this project? And see how we move also a bit more towards intuition, what feels good. And the thing is, emotions and feelings are your guidance system. So again, we're not going to go too deep into this being connection to your higher self, but let's just look at it as your guidance system. So really look at what feels good and what doesn't as those red or green flags. You've probably also experienced that feeling where something doesn't feel quite right. It's like something's off. I don't know exactly what it is, but it might be a project or just a situation at work. And you're like, this is a bit off. But then you stay with it anyways, you stick to it, and it ends up not being the most ideal situation. And the outcome is not the best, and you just say, well, I kind of knew it, right? Also for the negative, for the opposite, so for the positive, when you just feel good about something, you meet someone and you really click, it might be a client or someone you want to work with, and you know that it just feels right, all the pieces are there, even if it doesn't make that much sense on paper, but it just feels aligned. It feels good. And then you go and you create amazing things. So that just comes to show the power of taking aligned action, inspired action. So here we want to really get less busy. It's not about doing all the things. It's about staying centered, grounded, connected to yourself, to what feels good, to finding that alignment, and then taking action from there. When you take action from that space of alignment, it will also require less effort, because when you are in alignment, you are back in your flow state, natural flow state, which, is all about energy as well. So we're not going to discuss in details, but when you are in your flow state, that's when things happen easily. It doesn't require a lot of physical effort and things and that struggle and the hustle. It just happens. So think when you look back at this past few months, your past project, your previous project, think of the situations where you felt that things were just flowing. It might be in a meeting or when you're talking about a specific topic, but when things just flows and it's easy and it comes with ease and you don't really feel like you're putting a lot of effort, you just go, show up, do what feels natural, and you have better results than when you're trying to move forward and feeling stuck and it's taking one step forward, 2 steps back, and that kind of feeling, right? So that's your flow state. And I'm saying all this to put together mindset and work and having that mindset routine. So the importance of working daily on your mindset, conditioning and changing your focus, your autopilot, you're blending, you're merging the practical and the spiritual side. So the practical side, changing your focus, conditioning your neural pathways and all that we discussed, plus going back to that flow state, connecting to your alignment and to what feels good. Then you're going to take action from that space. And then how you take action, right? So let's see how you can actually start doing that. So you see the importance, you see how it works. Then we can go to point number 2, the starting point. Once you know all of that, you say, awesome, okay, so I see the importance. How do I start, right? So how do you start creating a mindset routine every day? And the main thing is, so let's break it down. Let's start small, because when you think mindset routine and you already have so many things to do during your day, you might think, well, but I don't have half an hour to meditate every morning and do all those things. And I'm here to tell you that you don't need to. Mindset work doesn't need, your mindset routine doesn't need to look like having 1 extra hour to do something, or meditate for 40 minutes, or do a lot of other things. It can look as simple as taking 5 minutes, even less, taking a moment to write down your intention for the day, to write down a word, one sentence, something really short, but just taking that moment to connect, to step into your power, take back the power. So you're taking the control. You're the driver. You're not taking the back seat and just being on reactive mode. So reacting to what happens in your day, and you're just there navigating and reacting to things that are happening to you. You're taking the time for, in the morning, step into the driver's seat. So you're not taking the back seat anymore. You're not just reacting to things that happen, and you're deciding how you will react. You're deciding where you're focused on. You're shifting your attention. You're choosing what your reactions will be. You're choosing how you will feel upon certain triggers. But all of that, it just comes from having that awareness and making a decision. So I know that it sounds almost too easy, right? But the thing is, when you look again to your autopilot, to what we just discussed, all those patterns and things, and being more on reactive mode rather than the proactive, but all these things are just patterns and autopilot because they are unconscious processes, right? They are unconscious, just automatic. You're not paying attention, you're not choosing. They are unconscious patterns. Think they're just going on because that's how you're conditioned. And it's not really your choice. It's just going, right? Unconsciously. And the key here is making the unconscious conscious. So what happens to a process that it was just running on autopilot because it wasn't conscious? The moment you make it conscious, you take back the power. You take away its power on you. So when you just bring your awareness, look at it, and decide to choose differently, that's all it takes. So yes, it is easy. I know it sounds too easy. Well, I can't really decide how my day will go, but well, actually you can. It's a muscle. So like everything else is practicing. So you're gonna exercise, you're gonna train this muscle for this to become easier and easier for you. And of course, things come up, and we're human. So you're gonna react to certain things. You're gonna be triggered at certain situations because it just happens. But the thing is, the more you practice taking the power, so in the morning, connecting to your intention, connecting to that decision, choosing, just taking a moment to choose how you're gonna feel, you're already changing those patterns. So yes, you might still experience some triggers, but you'll see that they won't go too far, or might not happen that often, or when they do, you can bring yourself back easier, because they would only run the way they are now when you're not looking at them. So let's say something happens that make you really annoyed, and then you go down this spiral where you're just stressed, and then you look at other things that make you even more stressed out, and then it's just downhill from there, right? That's because you're not looking at the process. Maybe you didn't take a moment before that to just choose, set a different intention, shift your focus, and all the things that we discussed, right? So this is just to show how you do have the power to condition something different. And the starting point is take it small. So as I was saying, the process is the same. It doesn't need to be a lot of work, a lot of just too many hours or too many practices. It can be as small as taking this moment to just decide. So you can ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? And take a moment to write it down. So when you do that, you're playing with a lot of different things here. So you're shifting your focus, you're doing all that. You're just taking a moment to bring your awareness and make a decision that wasn't there. So you change the processes as I was explaining, but also when you take a moment to write it down, you're reinforcing that message by taking physical action. So when you write, it's amazing to think of all these things, yes, but when you take a moment to just write it down, you make it even stronger. So let's take it small. Take the small steps. Look at it as 5 minutes, a couple of minutes, and you start to make it less overwhelming when you just say, mindset work can be as simple as sitting in stillness for 5 minutes. You can, and we're going to discuss the practices later on, but you can meditate, do something else, just write your word for the day, just notice how you're feeling. That can be, standard mindfulness practice where you just sit down, not really meditate for too long, but just notice how you're feeling, or write a word, write an intention, all these things. The point here is make it simple. So know that it can be as simple as you want it to be. And when you have that as your intention, it doesn't feel overwhelming. You don't need to know what to do, how to do, for how long to do, and have mindset work, daily mindset work being this whole big thing that is kind of out there and you don't know how to start. Be open. Be open and know that sitting for 2 minutes to realize how you're feeling, just recognize how you're feeling, is already mindset work. So when you look at your mindset routine from that perspective, it makes it easier to start. So we'll start with maybe committing to 5 minutes a day. If you can take 10 minutes a day, take the smallest you can take and really focus on making that commitment rather than making your practice long and intense. So, because you don't want to make it an obligation. You don't want to commit to sitting down in the morning and journaling and doing all these things for 1 hour, and then you do that every day and it's a lot, right? Suddenly it's a lot. So what is the next small step that you can take to connect to your feelings, your intentions in the morning? See what that is for you. And I want you to make the commitment, take this webinar and make the commitment that for the next week, you'll show up and do the work. So focus on your mindset, focus on your intention, and I will give you a few guidelines right after. So the third step, so you know kind of the steps you take more in detail. But for now, make the commitment to show up and just for yourself, really, right? Showing up for yourself, to connect with yourself, to kind of have that moment in the morning and start conditioning all these changes and see what that looks like for you. Is it 5 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? Is it not even time related, but you will commit to writing one intention and then take how long that takes you. It doesn't need to be based on the clock, but I want you to just commit to something small, a really small step that you feel like you can take every day for the next week. And think of what that looks like for you. So this is the starting point. Focus on the small steps, and it's more effective to be consistent with the small steps. So show up and take the same small step every single day, than to commit to doing a lot. It's not about doing a lot. It's about conditioning that break, conditioning your mind to shift your focus, all the things that we were discussing, taking that moment for yourself, really connecting, starting your day from a place of feeling centered and more intentional. And that's what you're conditioning. So, what brings more result? Going to the gym every day for 2 hours for a month and then stopping, never coming back, or going to the gym 3 times a week for 20 minutes for 5 years. You see where I'm going? So this is the same thing here. We want to make it simple and condition. So when you just look at it as something very easy to do, it helps conditioning as a daily practice. And then what are the practices? I want to share with you 5 practices, a few of my favorite mindset practices that you can do in the morning. So once you make this commitment and you want to start exploring, even if it's just for a couple of minutes in the morning, I want to give you 5 different practices that you can take. And so the first one is meditation. Meditation, if you're not used to meditating, one great way to start is with apps. Really, apps on your phone. There are a lot on YouTube as well. There are a lot of guided meditation, guided mindfulness practices for 1 minute, 5 minutes, half an hour, for beginners, for a specific topic, and really make it fun, make it easy. If you want to explore, there are 2 apps that I really like personally, and I use with clients as well. The Headspace app, that is for mindfulness. And if you want to explore other kinds of meditation, the Insight Timer app. It's called Insight Timer. And there you'll find just tons of guided practices, morning ritual, morning concentration, meditation for focus, for cleaning your energy, for all these things, for when you're feeling like this or like that. And then you can filter by the duration. So I have 5 minutes. No, I have 20 minutes, whatever that looks like. But meditating doesn't need to look like you sitting in silence, meditation posture, that idea that we might have for half an hour in silence, trying to clean your thoughts and clear your head, because that's just, it can be overwhelming if you're not used to it. So let's, just really open your idea of what meditation has to look like and try these apps. Try the Insight Timer, try on YouTube, really short guided meditation, guided practices. And when you have the app, it's really fun also to just sit in the morning and choose a new one. So you filter, okay, I have 5 minutes, choose through 5 minutes this morning and see what they have. No, today I feel more called to do this one, or I feel like I need for stress or focus or attention, whatever that is. And side note, by just practicing that, you're also strengthening making stronger the bond that you have with your own, like we were saying in the first part, with the first step, that bond that you have with your own intuition, with your own guidance, with your higher self, just by noticing what you need that day. So what is the kind of meditation that I feel like I need today? It's already your mindset practice, because you're already taking a moment to acknowledge what you need. So yes, of course, taking the actual meditation, but see how just taking a moment that normally you wouldn't, to realize, okay, what do I need now? Is it more energy, focus, relieve stress, detach from outcomes, release worry? What do I need now? And then going and doing the guided meditation, but just see how you took already a moment to connect to things and feelings that normally you wouldn't. So see how powerful that shift is. So meditation is one. Explore the apps, guided practices on YouTube, and just take a few minutes in the morning to go through a guided practice. You're gonna find styles that you like more, people that you click more with when it's guided, and experiment and you'll find your favorite ones. If you have an app, you can save your favorites. The Insight Timer one, you can save your favorites, so you can just repeat those in the morning. And yeah, this is a great place to start. The second practice I want to share is journaling. So journaling, also, if you're not familiar with journaling, I don't want you to look at it as, dear journal, dear diary, and then writing about your day and your feelings, that idea that you have. I mean, it can be, but really journaling for mindset as part of your morning routine, there are two main ways to do it. So there's free journaling and there's prompted journaling, where you journal, you write based on certain prompts, right? So the free journaling can be just sitting to, especially if you like writing and that's something that flows for you, you can just sit and write whatever you feel called to. So write maybe a sentence, maybe a paragraph, maybe a page, but just let it flow about how you're feeling. And that's free journaling. Now, if you like a bit more structure, and especially if you don't want to make it too difficult in the morning, I would say, when you just want to make it easy, so you know that you're going to listen to this 3-minute meditation and then journal on something and then move on, right? Go to work and keep going. Then journal prompts are the thing for you. Journal prompts are sentences, questions, just things to get that going, right? And there are a lot of journal prompts that you can look up also in the internet if you want more inspiration. But some that I really like that you can use is, what am I resisting? So this is a really powerful one. What am I resisting? And just take this prompt and write what comes up. You don't need to write a lot. You can put a timer on your phone and say, okay, I will journal for 2 minutes. And then you write until your timer goes off. What am I resisting? And feel where you might have resistance in your life now towards people, situations, feeling something that is feeling a bit off. What are you resisting there? And explore. See what comes up. When you feel like you've journaled enough, push yourself and try to journal a bit more, because that's when the real stuff starts to come up. So when you feel like you kind of have the answer, push yourself. And what if you would write 1 sentence more? See what comes up. And really, this is a practice. So what am I resisting? What do I fear? What do I want? What is something that really makes me happy? How do I want to show up today? How do I want to feel? It can be all sorts of prompts. If you're interested, you can look it up. And just on the internet, there are tons and tons. If you look up journal prompts for mindset, you'll find a lot. You can choose your favorites. You can have a list of options. So in the morning, you just look and choose one. What am I resisting is one of my favorite ones. What do I need to release today is also a really powerful one. So what is the one thing that you can release today, that you can let go of today? And you'll see the sort of things that come up. My need for control, this sort of feeling, that expectation, and just connecting, making, creating space for these things to come and connecting to them before you go and face those triggers. It will be a game changer, right? So you're just making things a lot more intention, you're feeling more centered, and all of that by, again, using physical action, so by writing. So this is really, really powerful. I really encourage you to take a look at prompts if you're interested, and that's something you can do. Another practice is intention setting. So like I was saying before briefly, is just taking a moment to set your intention for the day. Today, I want to feel like this, and see that setting intention is not setting the goals, the tasks that you want to do. This is not making a list of, I want to finish that project and write that post and finish that report and have 5 sales calls. It's not about that. So we're not talking about your business tasks. Your intention is how you want your day to go. How do you want to feel? What do you want to connect with? And this is your intention. So you can feel, you can write that you want to feel a certain kind of emotion, or that your intention is that today you will bring yourself back whenever you feel like you're straying off or getting triggered. Or that you want to be mindful, you want to feel like that, you want to show up, you want to go back, just connect to your energy and be energized through your tasks. Visualize, picture a day that is your ideal day and set an intention. Then detach. Don't worry about it, but know that you're reprogramming your subconscious as you do that. So set an intention and let it go. And really just go about your day. Know that by setting that intention in the morning, you're already sending all the signals that you need to your subconscious. You don't need to do anything else. Really just take a moment to see what that intention is and claim it, write it down, really just set that intention for your day and detach. That's all you have to do. You can also put reminders. So what is a way that you can remind yourself of that intention throughout the day? Maybe a reminder on your phone, maybe a post-it, maybe writing their intention somewhere that you can look at during your day so you can connect back to that during the day. And that's all you need. So that's intention setting. Another practice that I want to share is gratitude list. So there's a lot to be said about, a lot to explore when it comes to having a gratitude list, how that shifts your energy when it comes to the energy, spiritual side of things. It raises your vibration, frequency, all the energy stuff. From a practical side, again, you're shifting your focus to the positive. But long story short, let's take a moment and you can write 5, 10, maybe just one if that's what you feel called to do, things that you're grateful for. And it sounds silly almost sometimes, but you're shifting your focus to the positive, to the emotion of gratitude, which when you look at it from the energy side, has one of the highest vibrations when it comes to frequency vibration in the whole spectrum of emotions. So you're shifting your focus, you're conditioning, you're moving to a space of gratitude and feeling good. And all these things are moving you back to that flow state that we talked about. So you can do that in the evening, after your day. So what are the things that you were grateful for that day? Or just in the morning, connect to the things. 1, 5, you can, I personally write 10 things every day, and that's something I do with clients. We have a spreadsheet where we just use that to list 10 things that you're grateful for every single day. And this is really powerful if you want to give it a try. Doesn't need to be 10, but this is also something you can do. So gratitude list. And the last practice that I wanted to share today with you is affirmations. So writing affirmations, you can choose the ones that come through journaling. So when you're journaling, you might write something that feels really good and you realize, okay, this is something I would like to remind myself every single day. This is your affirmation. You can choose things that, you can also look up online for inspiration, but really ask yourself, what is the message? What is the reminder that you would like to have? What is something that you would like to believe? What is something that you would like to remind yourself more often? And use that as affirmations. Write that. So it doesn't have to be too far off where it feels like a stretch and you feel resistance. So let's say if you write, I am a millionaire, I have everything that I want, those kind of affirmations don't do the trick, because then you feel resistance. If it feels too far from where you are, if you write down, I have everything that I want, easy, and money flows to me with ease and abundance, and I am a very confident person that shows up in her best version. If that's not entirely how you feel, you will feel resistance. So the key to using affirmations here is choosing the words. So you can also, if that's your affirmation, so let's say it's the confidence. And if that's the thing that you want to reinforce, I am a very confident person that shows up naturally and speaks with, just as a leader and all that, stepping in my power and confidence, right? If that's your message, you can do that. But what if you would change the words and say, I choose to know that I have what it takes to show up with confidence every single day, to be the leader I know I can be. Or I'm in the process of showing up every day with the best of my confidence and in my best version. So see things like, I choose to know that I'm in the process, or I choose to believe that it's possible. I choose to remember that, but I choose to know, I choose to believe I'm in the process. Those things feel a bit easier than I am already, if that's not how you feel. I am the most confident person in the world might feel a bit heavy. Now, I choose to know that I have the confidence and I'm getting more and more confident every day, might feel less resistance. So that's your affirmation. Really choose your words and choose the affirmation that feels good. Choose the things that feel good, the reminders that feel good, the things that you say, whoa, it feels really good to read that, to write that, to believe that. And write it every day. One of my favorites is, I allow it to be easy and now I allow it to be fun. Because sometimes we get this conditioned and this conditioning, this really reinforced idea, I would say, that it has to be a struggle, that it has to be hard work, that work is hard and it takes a lot, and that kind of hustle and grind mindset, that it takes a lot of conscious mindset work to shift. And my thing is, my work flows with ease. I have a blast. It's easy, it flows, it feels light and fun. I enjoy myself. Work is not heavy and a burden and a lot of things to do and overwhelming. No. It's flow and ease, and I get to have fun because I allow it to be easy. And see how, again, the wording here, so I'm not saying work is easy. That would feel like, well, maybe not. But by saying I allow it to be easy, it feels a lot better. That works for me, right? So you can explore and see what the affirmations that you need, what do you need to hear, and what that looks like for you. But affirmations, exploring that and writing that every morning. So those are the 5 main practices, 5 main practices that you can start. And the key to being consistent with them is be flexible. Consistency, as funny as that sounds, consistency lies in the flexibility. So when you don't make it a responsibility, a heavy thing, things to accomplish, one more thing on your plate, and all these things to do, when you don't make it this boring, heavy, extra responsibility, that's when you feel like doing it. You know that that's how it works with a lot of other things, right? With work, with things that you gotta do on your just day-to-day. So make it fun, make it flexible. And the way to do that is having this list of practices. So that's what we just did. So meditation, and having the app, your favorite meditations, a few options there for a bit short, a bit longer, different topics. Then journaling, having a few prompts, intention setting, gratitude list, having the space there. And then you have also affirmation, have a list of your favorite ones. By having these options, you kind of brainstorming all these options, right? And you open your choice. So in the morning, you don't have to sit on the spot and do all these things or see what you have to do and try to figure it out. First is really, really easy. And it also makes it easier to stay consistent, because it's really easy to sit down, open your mindset book if you have one, if you have a notebook that you're gonna assign for mindset work. So that's your mindset work little notebook. And when you have all those practices there, all you have to do in the morning is sit down, open your notebook, and choose, okay, this is my prompt for today. Or get your phone, okay, this is my meditation for today. Or, this is the affirmation that I'm gonna repeat today. But see that you're not figuring out or trying to find what to do. It's there for you already. That's one of the main things when it comes to actually sticking to your mindset routine and follow through, is just having it out there, because it's so much easier when you have that list and all you have to do is sit and pick one. Done. Now, see how that feels different than when you sit down and say, okay, time to work on my mindset now. What should I do? Where do I start? And all these things. So really have this list of options, practices, save your favorite videos, affirmations, journal prompts, and have that index, have those resources. So it makes it really, really easy. And then once you have that, again, the flexibility part. So know that maybe all it takes is choosing one. You can commit to choosing one of those things every day. And it doesn't have to be the same one. You don't have to, I like to, but you don't have to meditate every day. If that's not your thing, meditation can be one of your practices. Of course, I do encourage you to try and meditate a few minutes every morning, but just know that you have meditation, you have journaling, you have all these things. And all you have to do is choose one. Make it really, really flexible, really open, and really fun. So you feel like actually going and showing up and doing the work, because you know that you don't have to. And you know that if you don't feel like journaling today, you don't have to, because you have other things. So you can sit down and say, okay, do I feel like journaling today? Do I feel like doing this other thing? And so have the list, have the options, and really be flexible, be open. And this is how you can condition follow through as well. So this is it, guys. These are the, we don't have a lot of time today, but this is a good overview of how mindset routine works, then how you can start, where a few practices that you can take, and then staying consistent with it. If you do that, I promise you, you will see shifts and just on how you feel, the actual results. This is one of my favorite parts of the work that I do with my clients, is just we focus so much or a mindset course that I have, but seeing people's transformation when you really commit to work on your mindset over time, in more in depth, and taking this, I'm going to take my mindset seriously and really explore all that it has to be rewired there and just make it a priority. The shift and the transformation that you see is just insane. You see the difference within a couple of weeks, just because you're shifting and you're reprogramming so much in your brain, in your energy field. So from the practical and the spiritual side, right? So I can't stress enough how important, how game changer, it's just a game changer, working on your mindset, not only your business strategy. And I hope this helps. I hope this helps create a structure, motivate you to really connect to your mindset and work on these things in the morning. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I will open the chat here if you have any questions, so you can write it here. If you're just catching the replay and we're not real time anymore, you guys can just catch up. I will actually, yes, this is the screen that I wanted to share. So here's where you can find me. So if you're catching the replay or you have further questions, you want to explore some of my content on this further, this is where you can find me. You can follow me on Instagram, join the Facebook group. That is really, really fun. This is the mindset. So if you go to my website, you'll see the mindset course that I was talking about. This is a 6-week, very in-depth, intense training on rewiring your mindset blocks. So identifying, releasing, and reprogramming those subconscious patterns and all the things to really align your mindset, fully get you on board with your goals, because your beliefs are there, your energy is there, your actions are there, and then you can move with flow. So this is what the Mindset Rewire course does, if you're interested in knowing more. And that's it. We have a few minutes for questions, if you guys have any questions, and then I'll open the chat here. I'll leave this for a moment for you. So yeah, let me know if you have anything, if you have any questions. Claudia, Maite, Maud, or other people that I can see, or if you're catching the replay, just send your questions later. And if not, if you don't have anything right now, I have the chat box open, but if you don't have anything right now, well, you know where to find me. I want to thank you. Great presentation. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Claudia. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's helpful. I know that mindset work is really, really, really a turning point, and especially for us, you know, entrepreneurs. And so I really hope that this can give a structure and kind of a starting point for you guys. Maite says, many thanks, I love you too. And yes, most helpful. Oh, thank you, I'm so glad. Happy it helped. And yeah, guys, let me know, let's connect. If you want accountability, that's what we do in the group, daily accountability threads for mindset work. Claudia has a question. So what am I resisting? Yes, the question, what am I resisting, is a great one for journaling. Yes, it's one of my absolute favorites as well. What am I resisting? Because the thing is, you know, when we have need for control, when we attach to specific expectations or outcomes or how things have to be, how things have to work out, and in business, right? How a project is going to go, the results that you're going to get, how many clients you want to sign, income goals, all these things. We can get so attached to specific outcomes or just the process that creates resistance when we're not fully on allowing mode, that we just take that aligned action, your beliefs are on board, you're in that place of alignment, and then you allow the flow. That's the perfect spot, right? But when we become too attached with the house, when, and all these things, we create resistance. So exploring where your resistance is coming from, what are the feelings that you might be avoiding, what is something that you don't, I don't want to go there, what is my fear behind this? What am I avoiding? Why am I kind of hiding or running from, and all these things? It all helps release resistance. When you see what's behind that, you can choose to let it go, and you see that things start to flow a lot easier because you're not getting in your own way, basically, which is something we all do. So yeah, what am I resisting is a great one to explore that. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for joining. Also, if you're just watching the replay, thanks for watching. And make sure we connect. Make sure you join the group. You can use the daily accountability threads there to explore more mindset work and exchange prompts and all these ideas, because this is all we do there. Let me share this with you again so you can see. I'll actually type here if it's easier. It's the Mindset and Actionable Woo Facebook group. So you can check it out if you're interested. And yeah, thanks so much for joining, and I'll catch you guys next time. I hope you have a great weekend.